Sawadee krap. It's very good to be back to Singapore to support my good friends here at Singapore IFMA. My name is Ek Buranakul. I'm a former president of Thailand Facility Management Associations and current active EuroFM ambassadors of Thailand. So today, I want to talk about the workplace strategy and FM in ESG reality. Why workplace at FM? Actually, ISO 41000 is actually talking about facility management and the workplace are the same things. With one thing, the objective is to increase productivity, increase quality of life of people and productivity of the core business. And I believe all my heart about improving the quality of life of people in the built environment. In the past, like what you understand, before the COVID, we transformed the workplace from headcount-based to activity-based to optimize the cost, the power consumptions, the space, to help the organizations coming through the bad times and keep up with the way of working. To the activity-based, right now, the most optimizations of the workplace is still there. But after the COVID situations, there's a lot of information of the workforce of how we work is flooding around. There's a lot of information such as the people want to work has been changing. There's a lot of things that see significantly want to work in every day in the office in 2020 have changed to 6%, 3 times lower than it was 2 years ago. It's changing the way we work, and many companies are changing the way from into the office to hybrid, and some of them are fully remote working. There's a lot of information coming in. Many organizations want to transform the workplace just because of the cost saving. That's the first thing. The changing in work styles of the people working. That's also the second thing. The business restructuring, that's quite lower, but indeed, there's a changing in the way we're sharing our workplace. So the workplace, since before, at a headcount base, you might use a large piece of work, of the space. Right now, to activity base, it could be low by 30%. And enhancing technologies can be actually going down to 50% saving in the space. This is actually before the COVID. I did many projects. One of the projects we did recently is the KPMG. We're optimizing 4 floors to 3 floors, initiating the way they work, more flexibilities, more flexible, and actually the cost saving is about 45 million Thai baht per year, and that's the ROI about 5 years. These are the things we're using the facility management to come up with, not the designers. In the past, we're focusing on place. We design a workplace based on new knowledge of how we can optimize, how we can come up with the space to maintain with the work. Then, around 1955, there's about process, how we can manage the workplace, the first life cycle of the workplace coming in, of the buildings, how we can manage, how we need to have an in-house, we need to have a cleaning, maintaining, how we can optimize the operation expense. Now, in 1980s, we focus more on people, we focus more on the standards of living, we focus more on NFPA, safety, how people working in that built environment, more productivity. In 2005, we talked a lot on technologies, how integrating the technology with the buildings, how we can optimize tracking data to have a smart workplace or smart building, the self-monitoring, analyzing, reporting technologies to capture those activities and understanding, calculating, to optimizing the cost save. And recently, we talked more on the planet, about the ESG, how the hybrid working can optimizing the space, can come up with the less energy consumptions, less emissioning of the building. So these are the trends that's been along from the past to the present and to the future. We talk many things about ESG, the environment, the social, the governance, but how can it be implicable with the facility management? Of course, the environment, we're focusing on the green building initiative. You have Green Mark, Thailand have the trees, Thailand rating in efficiency and energy saving. We have the climate impact strategy, how we can manage this built environment to less impact with the less impact of the emissioning carbon footprints to the world. How we can, using the circular economies to transform things, making it round and round within the built environment. For the social, of course, it's more like a well-being, occupational health safety. It's more on the people side and the governance of the workplace, of the space, how you use it. The green lease, how you're managing it. I just got the report from the UNEP, United Nations Environment Programs, about building shares of energies and carbon footprints emission. Building sector is the most consumed of the energy around the world and also the most emissioning of the carbon to the world. So if we can see here, 34% of the building and constructions use the energy, while other industry just only 31%. Transportations, 26%. On the other side, emissioning, 37% of the building and constructions come from emissioning. Other industrial, just only 30%. So we produce the most carbon out to the world and also consume the most energy of the world. If you can see that, zoom in more, the construction is just only a minor, but the operational of the buildings is the most. So if you can see that almost 30% is the operational side. It's the facility management. It's we. We need to work out, we need to optimize, we need to get all the data to understand, to reduce the power consumptions and also the footprint of the emissioning carbon to the world. However, we're trying to good stuff, good things, but we also see a difference about the changing. So it's been, even though it's been optimizing, but in reality it's increasing. Right now, it's about 3% increasing from the pre-pandemic. Supposed to be reducing. So we need to have a lot more of the facility manager understanding about environmental, about how we can manage the quality of life and also managing the power consumptions and also the emissioning of the carbon footprints for the better of the planet. Oops, sorry. Ta-da. Okay, we've seen an increasing of the green credentials from 62 in 2015 to 79 credentials in 2021. However, there's a lot of credentials which actually also Thailand have one, also Singapore have one. We need to enhance it very, very importantly, because this will be the same target of the zero net carbon in 2030. In Thailand, it's 2050. But in a way, for us, as a facility management, we can't wait that long. Our built environment have the life cycle of 25 to 30 years. We can't wait that long. As you also know that built environment also related with the Sustainable Development Goal of the UN. More than half of the 17 UN SDG related to the built environment. There's a lot of things that related. For example, the good health and well-being, that's really impact directly to the built environment, the facility management. The climate actions, that also related directly to the facility management, there are also gender equalities also related to the built environment. Many companies, many buildings are having neutral gender toilets. You don't split you don't split gents and ladies. So these are the new technologies or new innovations in the buildings as well to relate it to SDG goals. I understand that, well, for us in Asia or in Thailand, they're still debating but about the gender equalities, toilets. But in the Europes, they already, some of the buildings already did. So this is one of the innovations in buildings that actually related to the UN SDG. And as a facility management, we need to think how we manage these facilities to enhance people's life, quality of lives, and also the productivity of the core business. Okay, there it is. So we all know that as a facility management, the core competency is 3P: people, place, process. The last 10 years, we talk about technologies coming in. We have people, place, process, technologies, and now, and for onwards, it's about planet. We have another P that is very important, and a big umbrella that we need to concern. We're not thinking about people or place anymore. We think more into the planet. We need to have the technologies, understanding, integrating these into management systems so we can manage the planet to be better as much as our building, our facilities. I'm developing these technologies as well in Knight Frank. So we use the ISO 41000 and also the EN 15,000 about the facility management to understand and come up with the technologies, smart technologies, as a self-monitoring, analyzing, reporting technologies. So we have the technologies as a big umbrella. We have the process, people, and place within that technologies. We have the applications to understand, to relate it, to enhance, to engage with the people as the mobile applications, so they can engage in what they do, how they feel, what the satisfaction level is. Related to the place, whereas more on the engineering side, the service, the occupancy of the space, and also monitoring the energy consumptions. And it comes down to the planet. How we are working with Chiang Mai University to come up with the calculations of carbon calculations of each activity that we are using in our facilities. So these are some of the dashboard that's related to the place, more likely to relate it to based on the ISO 41000, which are categorized as the account management, experience service, the site service, engineering service, and also the space occupancy. So these will be related and categorized based on that standards and come out. We tracked along as a mobile applications. In the three scope of the reducing carbon emission, scope 3, which is understanding all the activities, how you're using, how your people consuming the power consumption, all the transportations of your staff have to be put it into the applications. This is a role of facility management to take care about it. If you can see, actually, we're trying to get involved with other peoples. We have points. If you read message, if you put in your daily traveling, you have points, and these points can be reimbursed into year-end voucher for shopping malls. And we also have the chart, the statistics. We are developing the personal statistics so they can see how much they, during the traveling and also during the everyday working, how they can use the power, how they can actually emissioning the carbon footprints out to the world. These are on the product that we are developing. The other things that I want to share you about is the One Bangkok, one of the Thailand's biggest projects. 104 rides, about 166,000 square meters. The gross footprints is almost million square meter footprints in the heart of Bangkok. This project's done by Fraser Property in Thailand, and they putting everything into the planets more. The facility management have to brainstorm everything to get this as a benchmark, not only Thailand, but in Asia, and this is want to roll out and to the world. And the projects will be finished in a couple of years, and I'll be very happy to I talked to the top level of the Frasers that when the projects finish, we will have some tours. We will have ACFM there and also have a tour that to see the best practice, what they do. So actually welcome you, invite you to be there in the next few years. So this is what I want everybody to see in the future. As us, as facility management, we need to manage not only satisfaction of the people in the buildings, but I want you to see this as a success factor where you can lowering down your carbon emission to the world. So nowadays, people see buildings at dollar and cents. But in the future, I want you to see as how many carbon equivalent ton releasing out to the world. And we need to fight for that. We need to get things lower and lower for our future, for our kids. So this is the visions I want everybody as a facility management to see. This is our target, why we manage our facilities to be. And just a key takeaway. These will be the trends that in the next 5 years, you will have it. First of all, it's about the space as primary footprint. Think wisely how you use the footprints, how you use the space. You use the more you optimize the space, the more you're saving the cost of the operational expense, the more you use the power consumptions, the more you release the carbon emission out to the world. Quality of space, not collocation. It's about the space. It's about not just only a space to work. It's about green certified. It's about well-being certified. It's about how you put your work life there, how you, it's about related to the purpose, ESG purpose. So the space need to be not just only for one factor, but multiple factor and multiple purpose. The third one is inclusiveness. The design for heart, not for your eyes. The next generation of the buildings is not just a very aesthetics design for your eyes, but it's for your heart, for everybody to use it. Right now, workplace or office building is designed for workforce, just only for 25 to 60 of age. But you can see many people now, 80s is still using, or even like my kids starting to have internship like 14. So they can use these facilities happily and also with gender equality at that facilities. So it's more on touching on your heart, not the eyes. So these are the 3 trends that I want to give it away today for the end of my speech. Thank you very much.